1. You are now live on Channel 8 and YouTube.
Thank you, TCTV. Good evening. The time is now 6:30 p.m. I'm Chairman Mike Curry, and I'd like to call the Select Board Business Meeting to order on this 13th day of December 2023. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Nat, if you could lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everyone. Before we begin, I'd like to state for the record that not only are we being streamed live on TCTV Cable Station 8 and our YouTube web platform, but this evening's recording will be available for later viewing on our YouTube channel. We in TCTV would be happy if you subscribe. If there are any of our audience members who are or plan to record video, please make it known, let us know. All right, we've got quorum, full board tonight. Thank you. As always, our agenda for this evening is publicly available at the official source for town information, templetonma.gov. There you may sign up for alerts for all public meetings, as well as our town administrator's weekly report. I would also encourage those listening who have not signed up for code red alerts to do so via our website or by calling 866-939-0911, as this is the primary method for engaging with the public for important notifications and information. Although I have the discretion as chairperson to add and remove from the agenda, it has been set to allow for time, personnel resources, and public awareness. I do reserve the right to move agenda items around to best fit our business and our guests. Excluding board minutes and comments, we have 12 items, new items on our agenda this evening with the estimated meeting time of about 2 hours, and we do not have any planned executive sessions this evening. If this is your first select board meeting, we are glad that you joined us, whether here or in your living room or on your tablet. We are proud to serve the community and will address tonight's business with patience, fairness, and efficiency. We would ask the same from our guests. Let's have a great meeting. All right. All right, first a little housekeeping. Let's do some prior meeting minutes. We've got November 29th of 2023 to review and accept for the record. So that's your leisure without any amendments or observations.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the minutes of 11/29/23 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion, observations?
One quick observation, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
A number of the items we have in the end, there's a bracket, video. Unless we can confirm that video is always available and the TCTV and or YouTube won't take it down, that is a potential OML violation. I did do a little bit of research. What's online through the Secretary of State's office is back in September 25th, 2017, but a phone call earlier in the week confirmed that we should be having, as they say, minutes must include an accurate summary of discussion of each subject. See the general law, chapter 30A, subsection 22A. The summary does not need to be a transcript, but should provide enough detail so members of the public who did not attend the meeting could read the minutes and understand what occurred and how the body made its decisions. So it's just an observation.
Okay. Do you have any, you want to change that language or otherwise?
No, we'll leave it. Just,
Okay. I understand. Okay. Thank you for
I
that
just don't want to
clarification.
set ourselves up for another OML.
Okay.
Lord knows we've had
We'll
it.
look at maybe changing the language or either providing a little bit more clarity or see available video. Something in case the video is not available. Any other observations? Hearing none on the motion to approve the meeting minutes of November 29th, 2023 as presented, how would you vote, Tim?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Item 4, citizen input. You have any citizen input this evening? Any calendar items that the town wants to Remote. Okay. Hearing none, we will move on to new business. It's a first for everything, right? I can see in our packet, town administrator, you can agree with me or not, or let me know if it's not true. Introductions and new employees and appointments, we have none this evening. Okay, thank you. All right, we are now going to move into a public hearing concerning the transfer of alcohol license from KJ Foods Incorporated, doing business as JK Crossroads, to Brad Lilly Company, doing business as The Country Cafe, 119 Patriots Road, East Templeton, Massachusetts, 014385.
That should be 014.
What's it?
There's an extra number. There's an extra number there.
Sorry,
It's all right.
01438.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no, 5.
Yep, no problem.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I move to open the hearing of the regarding the transfer of alcohol license from KJ Foods Incorporated, DBA JK Crossroads, to Brad Lilly Company, DBA The Country Cafe, 119 Patriots Road, East Templeton, Mass. 01438.
Second.
okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on opening the public hearing? Hearing none on the motion to open the public hearing, how would you vote? Tim?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Public hearing is opening as of 6:36. Mr. Buckley, if you want to come up. Public hearings usually go kind of like a court case. You go through what the proposed action is. Then board is allowed to ask any questions. Then we go, if there's anyone opposing that, any questions to the people that may appear and oppose that. Ask for your final recommendation, make sure that the board has no more questions. We'll go out of public hearing and then vote on the motion. Is that clear?
Yep.
Okay, so if you'd like to present.
Sure. So I didn't prepare anything formally to present.
We have the
packet,
liquor
yeah.
license in the packet, but if you could just walk us through like the summary of what you're looking to do.
So my corporation, if you will, has executed an agreement with JK Crossroads to purchase 119 Patriots Road. So I currently run a breakfast cafe and lunch out of 146 Patriots Road, which is just next door here.
Mhm.
It's the intent to move that operation sometime at the end of January into that location and continue to have dinners at night. We're looking at doing not changing a whole lot when it comes to hours, opening 5 nights a week for dinner, opening 7 days a week for breakfast. The latest will be open is 9 o'clock at night, probably Friday and Saturday. Other than that, it'll be 8 o'clock at night, most likely Monday, Thursday and Sunday. Doing pub food, sort of like higher end, kind of exciting, new cuisine type of things. That's really what the plan is so far. Everything's, the venue's being published. So we're just looking to transfer that. Like,
Any questions? Mr. Buckley?
Will it keep the same name, JK Crossroads, or is it going to be
it's going to be renamed, so right now, one of 2 names we're still going back and forth with DBA. It's going to either be the Country Cafe and Pub or the Templeton, Cafe.
so? Holly, would it need to change on here, or would that be next year? Because it's JK Crossroads on here.
Oh, no, that's the renewal. That's separate. So they still have to renew until the license goes through the ABCC and it's
So
actually.
next year it'll be the correction.
Right.
Good question.
The corporations actually applies to apply for the license and DBA is actually registered.
Right, so the name like the outward facing like copy as important as, but the corporation. Any other questions from Mr. Buckley?
Mr. Moderator,
I'll take the chair. You gotta get elected for moderator.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Dave. Chief,
The only question I have, and it's really may not be pertinent to this, but when that changes, are they gonna need new safety inspections under the new name? And how long do we anticipate this process of them changing to take?
go ahead to that.
So as of right now, we'll apply for the license. The license that's currently being held by JK Crossroads will stay in effect for a maximum of 90 days. We would anticipate that after my discussions with the ABCC, that we would have approval by that point. When it comes to safety inspections, I know there was just safety inspections performed. I think it was just last week with some minor, not sure what the word is. Regis anyways.
Okay.
And so I would anticipate a similar inspection afterwards, once we transfer, but I'm not sure what the town policy is.
It's not really town policy, it's the building commissioner and that policy, so you'll need to get a to be able to use the business, I'm sure, the name is, thank you. Yeah, you'll need to get that, and they'll do a quick inspection, so I think they'll do it over, because it's a different business.
Gabe, did that scratch your itch?
I'm having a really hard time hearing, but I'll stop in and talk to Holly to get
Okay.
those answers. I
It's
just
all-
want to make sure, because I have paperwork, when that actually changes owners and the new owners take over for 911 and so forth, I have contact information I'm gonna need to obtain. So I'll drop a copy of my form off to Holly, and when she processes all the new paperwork, she can get that filled out. So I can, whenever that data transfer happens, I can make sure if something happens in the building off hours, the right people are contacted, that's all.
Great. John, it's the green light.
It is on.
Okay.
Yes.
So, just, Mr. Buckley, just to clarify, you are going to take the operations at the current Country Cafe, basically transfer them in one piece to where JK Crossroads is now, and keep all the hours of operation and update them. But so so there'll just be nothing over there. It'll all be over at the current JK.
Finance Corporation will no longer.
That's what I'm-
not sure what Polly.
Okay. Right, because he owns that. Okay.
Because he owns that. I have a lease.
Okay. All right.
We will open Monday through Sunday.
Yep. Breakfast and lunch.
6 to 2, and then Thursday through Monday. We'll continue to stay open 2 to 8 or 2 to 9, depending on which day.
Okay.
Any further questions?
I just want to comment that the notice went out, it's in the packet. Notice also went out to all the abutters. And that everything is in the file that needs to be, and it's just ready to go.
Okay. Anything further from Mr. Buckley?
I just have a comment.
Sure.
I just wanted to give my opinion on the name suggestions. I would love for you to go with number 2. Just because the building that's
can do
been in
that.
town
Yeah,
since
I'm pretty sure that's.
before
the name.
time.
Just to comment on that, it was noticed as the Country Cafe. I think it has to stay that,
Okay,
because that was the legal notice that went out.
Okay.
We can check with the ABCC if you want.
yeah,
Okay,
because it's DBA.
right,
Sure.
yeah.
I can check on the legality, but we're
Right.
still working on that piece of it, but I like the Templeton Cafe.
All right, anyone speaking out against this action? Hearing none, does the board have any more questions?
I have
No. Mr. Buckley, what is your final recommendation?
My license. You approve my application for a license.
All right, thank you for that. I would accept a motion to come out of public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Anything further on the motion to come out of public? Hearing none on, to come out of public hearing, how do you vote? Tim? Yes. Terry?
Yes.
Nat?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Coming out of public hearing at 6:44. All right, we are out of public hearing. Would entertain any motion on that action.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Tim?
I move that we suggest we move forward with the transfer of the alcohol license from KJ Foods Incorporated, DBA JK Crossroads, to the Brad Lilly Company, DBA The Country Cafe. And as Mr. Buckley noted, pending ABCC approval, potential name change to the Templeton Country Cafe and Pub. 119 Patriots Road, East Templeton, Mass. 01438.
Second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, and just to clarify, your motion is to approve.
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussions on the deliberation? Or to deliberate on that? Okay, hearing nothing. On the motion to approve the transfer of alcohol license, how would you vote? Tim?
Yes.
Harry?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Templeton.
Subtle.
All right. Next item is a presentation concerning the capital improvements FY 25 recommendations, which you should have a copy of that in your packet. And we've got Justice, Noel, and Tim. Paul, you're emeritus, right? For that, yep. Just wanted to note that.
I believe they have. Justice has the presentation.
Oh, yeah,
Did you want to?
so. Do you guys have a copy of it on your desk?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I do. I thought that everyone had a copy.
Don't.
They're in the.
Look,
I don't
look,
have-
look under your,
It was in the updated addendum,
Oh,
agenda.
right after the liquor license.
oh yeah, look at that. Capital planning improvement. Yeah, look at that. Son of a gun.
I have that.
Found it. It's been a long day, sorry.
Yeah, however you want to present it. Do you want me to put something up on the screen or you just want to talk about it?
So we gotta open our meeting first, so,
Sure.
I will open the capital improvements committee meeting to order at 6:47 PM. We have a quorum of members in attendance. We have myself, Mr. Toth, and Mr. Francis, as well as our ex-officio member, Ms. Holly Young. We do have two pieces of regular business that we'll do real quick. Has the committee had a chance to review the meeting minutes in the last meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion? Motion.
Second that motion.
Second, all right, is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will go for the vote. Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Mr. Francis? I vote yes as well, that passed 3-0. The next quick item of business is to approve the report in front of you today. We did approve our recommendations at the last meeting. Does anyone have any corrections or observations? Okay. No comments. Would anyone like to make a motion? For our report? To approve the report? Right, I have a motion to approve the report. I will second. You'll second the motion, okay? Is there any further discussion? Now we'll go to the vote. Mr. Francis? Mr. Chow?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. That passed 3-0. Okay, so the presentation in front of you, and all of you have a copy, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So we are here for the beginning and end of another capital cycle and the beginning of a new budget cycle. What you have in front of you is our FY 25 capital improvements recommendations for the upcoming fiscal year. Just some things to note this year. I served as chairman. Mr. Francis served as clerk. Tim was your select board representative. Holly was the ex officio member. We had Cheryl Richardson as the treasurer collector. And we did have, the entire season, we did not have an at-large member. One of our at-large seats was vacant the entire season. We met on bi-weekly Tuesdays, and typical for us, there were a lot of extremely important requests that have come up year over year, especially regarding infrastructure, as we'll talk about when we get into the recommendations. In terms of who presented and who didn't, all of our usual presenters came. The only departments that did not present this year were the assessors, emergency management, the light department, sewer department, the accountant. There was nothing from the finance team as well in that regard. In terms of what the committee looked at this year, there were several major tax impacting requests in terms of infrastructure. Several, especially in the DPW department this year, one of which was our top priority for recommendations, which is the 7 oil tanks that unfortunately we were informed are expiring, and all of them need to be replaced at the same time for compliance purposes. And that was high on our list as we discussed that. It would be in terms of our other requests that we saw, some similar to previous years, some the same. Right. So in looking at everything that was presented in front of us after the oil tankers, we had a major discussion about which particular tax impacting items we could actually recommend to you. This year's capital budget, as informed by the town administrator, we had a $150,000 from free cash. As you are aware from the notification from the Department of Revenue, free cash is, as we projected, down this year. So that was to be expected, but that does make it harder for us to prioritize which projects. And additionally, on our financial outlooks, the town administrator told us there was approximately 50,000 CapEx, potentially more, that could be utilized going into this year.
Okay.
That helped shape our recommendations in terms of what we wanted to prioritize first. Of course, as I said, the oil tankers were our first priority. As is typical and important for us to maintain our fleet, the next recommendation was for the police vehicle with the amount that was requested, roughly matching the estimated revenues for meals tax. So that was our next priority. We did focus on preferred ranking. The police chief did present to us, and this was an important request, ballistic shields. Not knowing how many we could possibly recommend, he did present it to us. We did recommend at least 2 of them based on his recommendations and based off of the information that we were presented today. They currently don't have any ballistic shields right now. So that would be of paramount importance. Safety was a big factor for us as we developed these recommendations this year. Discussions. 4th on our ranking was the middle school and high school foyer locks down at Narragansett. And then for our 5th ranking was the wheelchair accessible ban, which as we found out at our last meeting, there is the possibility for it to be almost fully funded up to 80% with the 20% match. Great grant that the grant writer is looking into at the moment. We are in the beginning stages of applying for that grant as we were made aware of that. But what that did help us do was shape out the remainder of our recommendations. While those are above and beyond the capabilities of the town with the budget that we were estimated and given for this year, we believed that any funds that could be saved out of the grant for the wheelchair accessible van should be put towards the F-750 truck when available. So that we could start moving towards being able to fund that purchase. And then going 7 and 8 down the list, the town hall windows and 7x16 trailer for buildings and grounds requests. These recommendations were not easy to make and they were not arbitrary. All of the requests were very important and we did include them in our report. We also did approve all of the non-tax impacting requests or all the requests that typically come from other sources of revenue that are anticipated for. You'll see that on page
Yeah, 5 and 6.
5 and 6,
Yep.
yeah, early in the report. Such as the requests from CPC, the development services, building electronic permitting software, which will be useful for all departments. Potentially the new fire, or potentially a new ambulance coming out of ambulance receipts. The PPE turnout gear was presented. Typically that is accounted for in the fire chief's annual budget. But that is presented to us because it is as a bulk over $10,000. The MTD replacements through 911 funds, the senior center kitchen already has an ARPA appropriation, but there are, as other public meetings have talked about, and other discussions that have gone on, there is the potential for outside funds to be made available, potentially used for it.
A nonprofit.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the requests from TCTV. In terms of scale hall furnishings, yearly equipment purchases, their mobile production switcher and fiber encoder. All of their equipment needs, and then also they're looking into extending certain lines of the cable station or certain lines of cable service. That's one of their. I don't know if my fellow committee members have anything to add from the capital project process this year or highlight.
Just as I made it on the oil tanks, it's not will be expiring, they are expiring.
They are expiring. That's why they.
Are
But yes,
Yeah, they're expiring.
But it's priority one.
yes,
Well, I did not hear what your budget was this year.
150,000 out of free cash, and then we were given a 50,000 for CapEx, so about 200,000. But potentially there was.
Okay. Yep. I noticed in the capital improvement was unable to recommend any funding sources for the following projects. I think, and the chief can, chief's on Zoom, correct me, the fire EMS forestry truck, 175. Is that the forestry truck that we had on the, okay, so we're able to do that. That one's gonna get purchased with ARPA.
Yes, that one's the ARPA one. That truck has already been ordered.
Wow, fantastic. That's great to hear. We're already crossing stuff off the list.
Love it.
I didn't want to give you a chance to take it back. I heard the vote and ordered it.
Smart man. I'm sorry, Justice, you were waiting for any other comments?
No,
from the board?
that's perfectly okay. That's good news to hear.
Yep.
I know that you guys had approved your ARPA spending plan. I remember some of the things off the top of my head, but not seeing the list in front of me. There
Right.
were quite a bit of requests. So again, opening it back up to the committee members, if there's anything that either of you want to focus on. From the person.
The only thing I would like to say is I thought every single request, like every single department had was very well done.
Passes as approved.
I think by the time it's voted. I have to keep it requested several times. I also am concerned, when you look at the capital needs of the town for the next 10 years, it really is for equipment, I think it'd be $500,000 a year. And for, the other items that come up, like the oil tanks, it's probably like average $200,000 or $300,000 a year. But you're talking about a minimum of $700,000 a year, every single year going forward. And our recommendations, it's funded in sooner than $57,000. Those are initial requests out of money available. You can see just in this year, we are falling $500,000 behind. And, that $500,000 gap was made up by the ARPA money, but the ARPA money is going to disappear. So going forward, 2 or 3 years down the road, I see these needs between $500,000 to $600,000, and yet if there's, only $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 to work with, to find ourselves in this box.
Well, I mean, the good news is, if there's any good news in that, is that free cash should not be the only source that the only funding mechanism that we have for the needs of the community. Because you've got $471,000 prioritized needs that you've got there, but we don't have the at least the free cash contribution, which is the bulk of our normal capital source of funding. But I know Adam makes the point in every couple of meetings that we put away money to be able to do that. I'm glad that we're talking about ambulance new ambulances getting purchased from ambulance receipts, because we've done some due diligence to be able to put money where it should, likely sources of revenue and or funding. So if we have to take a look at another account or otherwise for something that is prioritized, like your committee went through and said, we've done the work for you, we can validate the requirement. I mean, that's another part that you're doing. Even if a department head brings something to you and has to take it back off the table, your job is to make sure you're cataloging that, because it's so important to be able to say, what are we gonna look like in 20 years? We're gonna have like you're talking about, we're gonna have a pile up of equipment that we need to be able to purchase. But if we're not documenting that, because someone's just, keep it in their folder because they're pessimistic that they're never going to get it, we're not going to know about it to be able to kind of strategize to pick different funding to do that, whether it's coming out of CapEx or we need to make harder decisions to be able to find the right sources of funding for what our needs are. I hope that makes sense.
I do have, Mr. Chair, one additional comment to make. I don't know whose idea it was originally, but I think one of the very best ideas that we had is using yield tax to replace the police cruiser every year. Because in the last fiscal cycle, we saved approximately $15,000 in maintenance costs. So instead of the $25,000 appropriated for maintenance, we had to spend about $10,000.
Jeff will remind you that on your committee now, he'll remind you that that's the way the town meeting article was written. So that's the beauty of it from his and your perspective.
But the point I'm trying to make, Mr. Chair, is that I think we need revenue streams that are steady year after year like that. And what I would pose the suggestion for your board to consider is I did talk with Representative Zlotnick 2 years ago about the need to increase the pilot payments by the state for the approximate 20% of town lands that are owned and used by the state. And the state has increased, and I think it was because of Representative Zlotnick. But the state did has increased the amount of pilot payments. And it's a little bit over $150,000 per year now. And I would just ask, as a point is that you consider that as perhaps a revenue stream.
Yep.
Of the use to replace vehicles of some sort. Again, that's something to ponder.
Thank you.
I'll just echo a little bit of Mr. Francis's comments, and it was very noteworthy that not only were the presentations well prepared, but the department heads that appeared in front of us had really sharpened their pencils, did their homework. And it was, I commented a couple times, shoot for the moon, if you fall short, you at least land in the stars. They chuckled, but yeah, we have a pretty solid projection. What we really need, how are we gonna get ourselves there?
Great. Bob had something to add.
If I just might add my 2 cents, I believe capital board they work with what they got. Over the past 3-4 years, I've been saying to every board, we need to build that back up, or rebuild our departments. And it's very important to do that. Because like Noah said, he hit it on the head. It's gonna come to a time where it's gonna be so bad, the town's gonna be in trouble because they can't afford to do anything. We need to get that capital planning, spending money back to where it needs to be. And I've been saying it for 3 years, the capital board, finance team, select board, we need to really focus on building the structure back up. And I know the capital team, they do a good job. Noah visits me every year. And he comes, wants to know what the priorities are. But it gets very difficult with the department heads. But for 2-3 years, everything's a priority. And I just want to see Templeton moving forward and making progress so we can take some of these things off our checklist and show our progress like it was 4 years ago. And if I may, I know they recommended the 750, but the roadway spreader that I put in, that I said that it's priority, that was going to be a shared item with the town of Winchester. So if they vote to approve it, and I don't get it. It's a nice piece of equipment that's don't fall through the cracks.
What's the cost share?
I don't have it.
I think it's $32,000 or something like that from what I saw.
$2,000.
Yeah.
So their plan, they get that grant, I would like to see that money go towards that.
Yeah, road widener. Estimated cost is $64,850 shared by the town of Winchendon, so ours would be $32,425.
Okay, well, at least it was considered, so,
It's on here.
okay. Thanks, Bob. Can we go ahead and go and move to questions? Oh,
If we are awarded the grant, the cost share will be $15,720
for the road widener?
for the wheelchair accessible vehicles.
Oh, okay. Understood. Yeah, I mean, so you're operating with a cut line, I mean, you got 471,000. We've got it prioritized there, so in terms of execution, you've definitely got a cut line there, so we'll try and do what we can. You know, that it's not like DOA, it's, you've given it to us, and now we gotta see what we can do to get the whole way through 471 and beyond. Okay, any questions for Capital Improvements Committee?
Job well done.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Did we have no further questions? Thank you for your report. We really appreciate it. And we'll see what we can do with your recommendations in terms of funding and executing and getting it done.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. All right, I want to thank my 2 health committee members, for this cycle and presentation. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Yes.
Oh, we have a motion on the floor.
Oh.
That's okay.
Want to withdraw?
No, John, you don't withdraw. I can second it. We still have discussion. I will second the motion on the floor, but I do have some discussion.
Yeah.
Per the bylaw, and it was changed, we executed when I sat as the chair. I would encourage us to come up with a summary of tonight and get that typed up in final and for you to sign as the report for this meeting
Yes, yeah, that
for
was
the
good.
public record.
Yeah, I was gonna talk to Noel to get that and then I can sign off.
But we can vote on that as in this form. To give you permission with that.
Oh, I thought the bylaw already had given permission to. But we
You're
can.
still gonna vote.
Yeah, we can still do that. Okay.
We didn't realize the vote.
So, I know there's a motion on the floor right now. Do we want to withdraw that motion? Your second,
I would
okay.
propose.
All right, I would entertain a motion, for the chairman to approve the final meeting minutes of tonight's proceedings with him. All right, motion and second. Do I have any further discussion? Now we'll go to the vote. Mr. Tell.
Yes.
Mr. Francis. And I vote yes as well. Right, thank you for that, Tim. Now I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Right, motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. Mr. Francis? Mr. Chow?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. That passed at 7:11 PM. We stand adjourned. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, we're moving along in new business. We are up to item E, Echo, action related to the food pantry license. In your packet, you'll see the update. The renewal.
Mr. Chair. Yep. I move to approve the food pantry license agreement extension for 1 year expiring December 31st, 2024, and for the town administrator to sign.
Second,
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion about the food pantry license? Hearing no further discussion on the food pantry license, we're gonna go to the vote for approving for one additional year. How would you vote, Tim?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Julie?
yes.
And I vote yes as well. That's great. All right. We are up to item F. ARPA funds for 2 6-wheelers. I'm gonna rearrange item N to go right behind it because it also Bob concerns an update Bob has for us. All right. ARPA funds for 2 6-wheelers.
Good evening, board. Been a stressful month.
Yeah.
As you know, are aware of the F-750s went out to bid. We did not receive any bids. So in between that, if you haven't heard, we did have a smaller truck, H-35, catch on fire. And I just found out yesterday that it's not total, and that's gonna be about $22,000 worth of damage. So the insurance company's gonna be working on that. Cause that was gonna have a play in this fighter. A total truck, try to replace $100,000 truck today. So with that being said, where you guys approved the 388 for the ARPA for the 2 750s. I did reach out and get a couple of state quotes, state bidding. And they write about 200,000. So I'd like to ask permission to continue and move forward in ordering the F-750s. And any monies above that, which would be about anywhere $12,000 to $15,000,
I can use from chapter 90. I did have a balance of chapter 90 this year, of a little over 34,000. And next year, I believe, from what I'm hearing, we're gonna have 2 funding sources on top of the chapter 90 to do some extra work. So for $15,000, to make up the difference, this will be a tremendous help to my department.
So, first of all, good creative thinking. But the only question that I have is that this is allowed under chapter 90. There's no issue with that. You can supplement 388,000 with the 12 or 15, whatever your need to get to that and
Yeah.
get your vehicles.
You can buy equipment or,
Okay.
you know, anything. It just, I have to send in a request and get it approved, but that's, not a hot part.
I applaud your creative thinking on this, Bob. Do you think to go out for the state bid request and see what we can get with the money that you were given, and knowing that you can supplement using chapter 90 to get there, and we'd still get 2 vehicles. I applaud the creative thinking. I know I say go for it, so, because we need those vehicles. We need those for, we
We
need
do,
those
and
to help out.
I know when I started, I said I wouldn't use much chapter 90 money for equipment as they did in the past. Except for maintenance of roadways, like the hot blocks and stuff like that, but.
Mhm.
And I feel I did a pretty good job in holding to that, but. This, I really need to get these trucks in for a small minimal amount from chapter 90 versus full amount to buy equipment that I wouldn't do, but for a little bit, I make this work, I can appreciate the trucks.
And I think for the most part, the time you've been here, you've funneled most of your chapter 90 money into repavings and
Oh, that's all.
road maintenance and that sort of stuff. So I mean, I don't think you're going anywhere around your, I don't think you're going anywhere past what your commitment was. I mean, you're looking at something that needs to get done, and is really, if you have to supplement with a little bit of chapter 90 money, if it gets us over the line.
Right.
You know.
Is there action for us tonight, Bob, or this is just?
Well,
an
just
update
approve my
from-
recommendation, so I can move forward. The ARPA money's been approved,
Right.
just letting you know
Okay,
what happens. I'm gonna redirect it, use it for the same, presentation of the 750s.
Yep.
The same truck, but I need a little more because we will, didn't get no bids.
I say, as long as you're within your guidelines of chapter 90 funds, I mean, and we've already given you the ARPA money for 2 vehicles.
yeah.
I don't see,
The consensus of the board, I think, is gonna be to trust his judgment and to move forward.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't think we need a vote for that. I think
Yeah,
we-
and that's,
We trust that you're
that they don't have.
trying to fit 10 pounds into a 5-pound bag with this one.
Right, and trying
I
to.
appreciate you putting it on public record as well, Bob.
Thank you.
100%.
You know, versus coming to town trying to have that and find me 15 grand. It makes the process a lot easier.
What else do you need from us, Bob? Other than
Thumbs up.
Okay, you got our thumbs up.
Those are up.
Go forth and fight evil, sir.
People too. And thanks for the update. What was the fire? It was just electrical?
It was electrical. It seemed to be focused on, it has 2 batteries, the left side of the battery, the flames come out behind the left headlight. There was, got the fire report from Chief Dickey, and there was no exact root cause yet, but from what I see, I believe that a plate inside, there's different plates inside the battery. One must have broke loose, tipped over and shorted out.
Got it. I understand.
And,
The 24-volt system?
12.
Oh, okay.
But it has 2 batteries because of plows and electric lifts and all that stuff.
Got it.
And no injuries.
No injuries. The driver and another driver behind, they both emptied out their extinguishers and made a good stop, and then the fire department came and verified that there was no extension on the vehicle, but Matthew Ford will be doing the work, so they're gonna replace the harnesses. They're not gonna do a half-ass job squeezing on that first. They're gonna do it right, so hopefully we won't have any problems down the road when we get it back. And the estimated time's probably a month and a half.
All right, good luck with the trucks. Thank you. All set. You're all set?
Yeah, well, she's gonna do the other one.
Yep. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. You're right. We're moving on to next.
Okay, you're not getting up, Mike.
Stay there.
Item, moving up, item, November, just an update on the ADA.
So I guess the board asked for an 88 update. You remember back in 2020, we had like a study done on a plan with the ADA, and we have a beautiful binder in the select board's office, my office, of all the stuff that was needed in the town of Templeton for updating the ADA. So this little page and a half memo that they typed up. Good evening, board. This memo is to give you a brief and short version of the ADA update. Attached with this memo, you will see a checklist required by ADA upgrades from the town of Templeton self-evaluation transition plan for December of 2020. I place a red check mark by the items that have been completed.
Awesome.
The town hall entrance, we installed ADA door openers and removed the double doors, interior doors. We put lever action door handles in each department. Front doors towards Patriots Road, replaced the doors and adjusted the 2-inch up, changed the level on service, the interior door. The parking lot, adjusted signage, created a van handicap accessible area. The picnic table, we made it ADA compliant walkway to the picnic table. The ADA service counters were installed, built in the select board office and the development office. The DPW, not much there, installed lever action door handles on the main doors for the public to enter and remove the drinking fountain. Emergency management building, install a lever action door handle on the main man door, that's code access. The police station, we need to reevaluate after it's been built, check off what's been done and what's been done. Fire Station 1, Templeton Center. 2 main doors will have lever action door handles installed that are coded. The training room cabinet, sink counter, all brought to ADA compliance with sink in height and accessibility. Bathroom wall, there was a closet. We removed the wall to make better access for ADA access to that bathroom and made that bathroom ADA compliance as well. Fire Station 2, Baldwinville, the front main door has a coded lever action doorknob installed. And there was presented to Capitol to redo the front counter for the ADA compliant access counter as well. The Scouts Hall is currently under construction. Any new construction such as a kitchen counter, sink will comply with the bathroom, all be an ADA approved. There will be other small things that will have to get done further down the road. I am proud to say that the senior center first floor is in 100% compliance with ADA, signed off by the building inspector. There's some minor ADA stuff down in the basement and the food pantry area. Boynton Library, with ADA parking spot was striped for van access with signage. The side steps were removed from disarray, being broken up. Poured new cement stairs were done. Installed new railings on those stairs with extensions on the upper and lower. And redecked the handicap, and they already have a handicap door operator there before they started. The only way the bathrooms are ADA compliance. The entrance to the bathrooms were regraded with stone dust to the 2% accessibility. Service counters on the concession stand are at ADA height. Baldwin Road, with Lily Lane, whatever it's called, I made them conform with ADA taper to the entrance with the grids on the sidewalk. Rivers Edge Park, walkways, ADA compliance, ADA picnic table on site, and the ADA wheelchair pad. Then last summer, MassDOT went through on the state roads, improved the sidewalk adjustments and handicap accessibility on those. And anything moving forward, new construction, remodeling for new projects will all be with ADA compliance. And working with the consultants, as I stated, they're a real pleasure to work with. They came out when I was doing the senior center. And they were ecstatic how far Templeton's moving forward versus other towns not doing nothing or nothing at all, or very little.
Right.
So they're very pleased in our progress that Templeton's doing. And we'll keep moving forward doing the ADA updates as money allows. There are a lot of small things that we can do in-house if I have the manpower and the time to do it. But that's where we sit since 2020.
Thank you, Bob. That's amazing. That was a great report. Absolutely. Yep. Any questions from the board?
Nothing. I think it's a testament to the good work of the DPW and the other departments involved, that the consultants did say here that Templeton basically is leaps and bounds above many other towns.
That's great.
Many other towns, according to them, don't touch this stuff. They get the recommendations, and yeah,
Piles
yeah,
up.
exactly. It just keeps going, whereas we're actually taking action on it. So bravo to you, and bravo to the other, bravo to everyone who helped you get this to the state that it's in, and we're glad that it's going to continue. Nice job.
Like I said, there's a manual in Adam's office. My office is pretty in-depth detail if you want to see pictures, and they did a real good job doing a study on them.
Yeah. That's a huge list.
Yep.
Keep chipping away at it.
Accomplishments. I mean, that's huge. That's some town report stuff.
Absolutely. Mr. Chair, just one comment, and I don't mean to misspeak. I know it's very encouraging, especially hearing how far we've come with our senior community center. I recall we were looking at a potential grant opportunity for a emergency generator to create that space as an emergency shelter. And this was a key component that kept emergency management from complying.
Okay.
Or applying. So now that we're in the ADA compliance, I think that will help EM move forward with it. So again, strong work. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Now I'll get up.
All right. Very much appreciate.
If Rich Burgess is listening, if I misspoke, Rich, please chime in and correct.
Grayson's got a notebook with her, hopefully. You can talk. All right, moving on to item G, that is action related to ambulance write-offs. We've got, fire chief on hand. Hey, thanks, Bob. And you have, the request letter in your packet. Chief, go ahead.
Good evening, all. Yeah, so you can see in the packet, working with our billing policy that we set up a few years ago for our review in December. I have a total of 16 accounts that the billing agency is deemed uncollectible. It is a total of $7,635.92. I do have the list of the individual accounts that would be voted on. Unfortunately, with HIPAA laws, I can't bring that to the select board, but if you vote on this tonight, it would be those, I would be sending back to the billing company your permission to write off those 16 accounts that they recommend as being uncollectible.
Just doing the quick math, that's in, the average of about just under $500 per. Okay. Thanks for that recommendation, Chief. Any questions for Chief Dickey?
Just a comment, Mr. Chair. Chief, correct me if I'm wrong. If we don't write these off, you still show that as a potential income due to the department. So this is just the housekeeping and bookkeeping, just to keep everything straight.
Yes, that's correct. If we don't take this off, it's a potential income that goes against the town with the state. So by taking it off, it just clears up the books. It's money we're never gonna be able to collect.
Yep, it's standard housekeeping, unfortunately, but it's the way the business operates.
Correct.
Thank you, chief. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Any further questions? If not, then I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I
Yes.
move to write off 16 accounts totaling $7,635.92 as recommended by the fire chief.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further questions? Hearing none on the motion to accept the ambulance write-offs as presented, how do you vote, Tim?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thank you, chief. I appreciate it.
Thank you all.
All right, next item, item H, action related to acceptance of PARC grant, PARC.
And we bowed. I just love that we have someone in the position. I just, every time I see you, I gleam about that. Yeah. We've worked very hard for that, so a great job.
So back in July, Jackie worked with Parks and Rec to apply for the parkland acquisition and rehabilitation for communities grant, park grant for short. And as you can see in your packet from the letter there, we were awarded the grant. So back at town meeting. that Article 16, we approved $137,434 from CPA funding for this project. This grant will reimburse up to $96,204 of that. So stop me if I've already said this, because I think I've sent this to all of you before, but the grant is mainly for resurfacing the parking lot. It's a full excavation and repaving. New playground surfacing. I think right now we have pea stone, which isn't great, so we're going to replace that with wood chips and then completely new playground equipment. So tonight, all I'm looking for is just for the board to accept the funds. Candace and I are here to answer any questions you have on it.
Any questions for Ms. Cook? Have none.
Well done.
I can't take all the credit. Jackie did the application, but happy to
Well done
take
to
on
Jackie
that.
as well.
All the departments and to, as a team effort for the whole.
It's gonna be a,
Clayton Park team.
gonna be a great thing to see Houghton Park revitalized and hopefully used by the youth of our community.
Exciting.
Yep, it'll be a big step forward.
Okay. If there are no further questions, then I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I move to accept the park grant as was
Second.
presented.
I have a motion and a second. Any further comments? Hearing none on the motion to accept the park grant, how do you vote, Tim? Yes. Terry?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thank you very much. Congrats. Congrats to
And
you.
thanks to the whole team.
These are donations. You don't think he'll mind if we keep going? We still have a quorum. Talk really slow. So next item on the agenda is action related to senior center donations. In your packet, you've got one for $20 in memory of Cheryl Harrington. Another for $500 for the center's Christmas luncheon.
Thank you, Carolyn, to set.
Yearly donation of $100. From Paul and Christine Casey. $50 in memory of Cheryl Harrington from the Liddies. $50 in memory of John Whipple. From Shortis's in the Wessex. $720 total. Great.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the senior center donations as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? When we get these, we're always very, very appreciative. Timing is very good at the end of the year when a little bit more money is needed in some accounts. So all of these gifts are very appreciated.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
do you recognize MJ in French?
No, I didn't. I wasn't sure how the board was going to go through from where they're coming from. Sometimes anonymity, but we did read out all of them. So $20 from
MJ.
MJ French in memory of Cheryl Harrington. And Carolyn Touchette, $500 to the Center's Christmas luncheon, and then we got everybody else. Good one.
So I looked up, Scott Demar was on cert, so Cheryl Harrington is his mother. Condolences to the family, and Mr. Whipple, he was from Winchendon.
Any further thoughts on those donations? Hearing none. On the motion to accept the senior center donations as presented, how you vote, Tim? Yes. Terry?
Yes.
Matt?
Abstain.
Julie?
Yes.
And I vote yes. So you have 4 yeses and an abstain. Okay, next item is item J, action related to a flag request. Adam, do you just want to give a quick summary or? Looks like the clerk received a request to fly flag.
Correct. We received a request, originally that went to the town clerk, then it went to my office and I've notified the individual that to speak with the select board chair, it's on the agenda and the board now.
Let's see that. The request was communicated on behalf of the Pro-Life Legal Defense Fund. Okay, concerning that request, I would move to not accept the private party's request as the town-owned flagpoles are not a public forum for free expression and to authorize the town administrator to respond to the request.
Second.
Moved.
Okay, motion and
Second, sorry.
Julie's the second on that. We did have a. Any further discussion on the flag request?
Just to clarify, this is to not.
That is to not accept it. Thank you for the town administrator to handle the request. Timely bylaw. Thank you. Okay, hearing nothing further. On the motion to not accept the private party's request, and allow the town administrator to handle the response, how would you vote, Tim?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thank you. All right, our signing party tonight. Item K, action related to annual licenses and permits. This is for liquor, common victualler, automatic amusement, live entertainment, Sunday live entertainment, and class 2 and 3 licenses and recreation track permit as named below. So these are our annual licenses. I would entertain a motion.
He's staring at me for a reason.
I want to say something before you do the motion. I wanted to request, everyone knows about the fire on the river.
Yes. Yeah.
And they just got their license in September.
Yep.
Paid the full price and then couldn't use it.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to request if the board would be amenable to waiving the fees for the Otter River Hotel LLC licenses, but just for this year,
For 24.
for 24.
I personally don't have a problem
They
with
just got
that.
it.
Great
Yeah.
suggestion.
If you want to just add that onto the end of the motion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Thanks.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the licenses and permits as listed pending all taxes are paid, current and all other requirements have been met. Liquor licenses, the American Legion, Baldwinville Station, Candelight Incorporated, JK Crossroads, KROs on the Common, Long Noodles, the Otter River Hotel LLC. With that liquor licenses fee to be waived. The Otter River Sportsmans Club, Patriots Package, Reno's Pizzeria, Royalston Fish and Game, Templeton Fish and Game, Templeton Spirit, Templewood Golf, The Thirsty Turtle, Village Liquor and Mini Mart. Common victualler licenses, the American Legion, Baldwinville Station, Candelight Incorporated, Pro Hill Motorsports, Cumberland Farms in East Templeton, Dunkin' Donuts in Baldwinville, Dunkin' Donuts in East Templeton, Great Wall Chinese Takeout, JK Crossroads, Kitchen Garden, KRO's on the Common, Long Noodles, Lee's Hot Dog Stand, Otter River Hotel LLC, Otter River Sportsman's Club, Patriots Roast Beef and Grill, Reno's Pizzeria Incorporated, Royalston Fish and Game, Templeton Fish and Game, Templewood Golf, Templeton Spirit, The Hen House, Thirsty Turtle, Village Pizza. Automatic amusement licenses, American Legion, Candlelight Incorporated, the Otter River Hotel LLC, the Otter River Sportsman's Club, Royalston Fish and Game, Templeton Fish and Game, and the Thirsty Turtle. Live entertainment licenses, the American Legion, Candlelight Incorporated, JK Crossroads, KRO's on the Common, Long Noodles, Otter River Hotel LLC, Otter River Sportsman's Club, Royalston Fish and Game, Templeton Fish and Game, the Thirsty Turtle. Sunday annual live entertainment licenses, the Templeton Fish and Game. Class 2 automobile licenses, Bill's Used Cars Incorporated, Car Works, Chesterfield Motors, COS Garage, Fletcher Equipment Company, Franklin Park Enterprises, Insurance Auto Auctions, Lang's Vintage Automobiles, Randy's Automotive Sales, Scratch and Dent Auto Body and Sales, Scott's Garage, Wilson Bus Sales. Class 3 auto licenses, Cosentino Salvage, Franklin Park Enterprises, USA Auto Recycling Incorporated, Templeton Auto Parts Incorporated. Recreation Track Permit, Pro Hill Motorsports.
We have a motion? Second. And we have a second. Any further discussion?
Did Matt need, excuse me, Mr. Chair, did Matt need to waive the fees every time or just a blanket for Otter River Hotel LLC? Because isn't there a different fee for each section?
There is, if we can just add on to the end that all their license fees are waived.
I will amend the motion that all license fees for the Otter River Hotel LLC are to be waived for the 2024 calendar year.
I'll amend that second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Clarification.
Thank you, Holly.
Well read, Matt.
Hang on.
Any further discussion?
Okay.
When we go through all of those, just so everybody, so we actually go through the whole list, it's not just as presented, assuming people look at the packet. And I think it's really good to recognize these businesses as well, to just to hear their name out and that we support them. If there is no further comments on the motion to approve the annual licenses permits as presented, how would you vote, Tim?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Julie?
I'm gonna abstain on this vote.
And I vote yes. 4 yeses and 1 abstain. All right, great. And make sure everyone sticks, oh, they're already started. Make sure everyone sticks around so we can get all those signed. We are still in new business. Kind of not at this point. Item L, discussion related to Scout Hall update. Do we have an update for Scout Hall?
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
I can say that, Mr. Lamontagne reached out to me recently to, give me the information that we had people in there getting ready to do countertops and floors, etc. Which was really exciting. So I reached out to Mr. Sozak and I was able to meet with him at Scout Hall and take a walkthrough.
Great.
Looks fantastic. Everything appears to be on schedule at this point with the interior type things that are going on over there. So I think the next step, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that they'll be going out for bid to finish up the electrical piece of this.
Correct.
So it looking good.
We should, we need to be mindful of any policies that need to be put in
Absolutely.
place so we understand what the key access usage and everything is gonna be, so we can not do it after it's ready, but so it's ready, not ready.
Agreed.
And I can work with you on that. I know it wouldn't, way many years ago when you and I did the walkthrough, we talked about what the structure should be for that. So we'll, yep. I think we even talked about it in a couple meetings ago. I think you had brought it up, Candace, you know, to make sure that all the policies are set with it. Okay, great. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it, Julie. Speaking of Julie, item M, discussion related to a code of conduct update. Kind of thought that was going to be both of us at that point. I was going to update I was going to clean up the language that's in our select board policy.
Okay, I wasn't sure how we were gonna do that. If we were gonna clean up the language together, outside of a
Yep.
meeting and then present it to the
Yes.
board.
Yep,
Okay.
I had that action. I was working on the micro grant stuff, so I am slowly getting through all that
Great,
stuff.
let me know.
Yep.
Thank
I've
you.
got some edict stuff I'm working on as well, so I will come up back with that. That is low lifting in terms of cleaning that up. I'd already kind of gone through, see where we needed to clarify things, so.
Great, thank
Okay.
you.
We have already accomplished item N. And we have item O, action related to assessors FY 25 evaluation. Hello, Justice.
Hello, Mr. Chair and the board. Probably were they given the, okay. So in front of you, I believe it would have been an amendment to your packet is a, evaluators, evaluation of requests for proposals. So what's in front of you is, what happened is next year in fiscal year 2025, the town is in a recertification year for our values. That means that we need to go out to bid to begin a revaluation program for the town. We did that in November and we had one bid that came in. We reviewed the technical proposal my office did, and at the assessors meeting yesterday, the assessors recommended that Vision Government Solutions was the advantageous choice for the request for proposals. And at that meeting, we then opened the price proposal because those were two separate. It's a little bit different going for a request for proposal, as I talked with the town administrator, as opposed to a request for bid. Not just because it's based on the lowest bidder, but it's based on the most advantageous and responsive bidder. So we want a good revaluation, not just the lowest costing one that's gonna work well.
Lowest cost technically acceptable.
Technically acceptable, yes.
Nice flexibility on that.
So following that procedure, what like I had said, the assessors said that it was advantageous and that the request for proposal from Vision meets specification. Their price proposal was for $39,500, and our office would be asking for you to consider awarding a contract to Vision Government Solutions for our fiscal year 2025 revaluation. Is there any, do you have any questions regarding the revaluation or the process?
Is it funded? Is it budgeted? Okay.
Yes, we do have the
Yeah,
funds
that was-
available for that.
Excellent job presenting that. I understood everything you said. Awesome. Any questions for Justice? All right, hearing no questions. I'll entertain a motion. Okay, I would move to agree with the Board of Assessors decision to award the contract for reevaluation to Vision Government Solutions in the amount of $39,500.
So seconded.
Oh, Mr. Cray, I actually have a draft motion.
Oh,
More specifically,
better.
like,
You left
if
me
you,
hanging.
How close was I? It was on purpose.
Like close? All right. I would move to award a contract for the FY reevaluation project Division Government Solutions in the amount of $39,500 and said sum to be drawn from the several property valuation accounts at the discretion of the Board of Assessors and to authorize the chair to sign the same.
So seconded.
Thanks for that. I think we would have been good. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none on the motion to award the contract for reevaluation Division Government Solutions in the amount of $39,500. How would you vote? Tim? Yes. Terry?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thanks for that.
thank you.
Excellent presentation. Okay. Old business. Got discussion. I think we could talk through a bunch of stuff. I brought in with you tonight, or and sitting in front of you tonight is a micro grant program policy and a sample application. What we would need, if everyone, I'll give you a second, actually, I'll put it up on the screen for those at home. As you read through that, what I think what we would need to do is either discuss that policy in the application, but the two key things that we would need beyond that is who are going to be the municipal people approving these, and then by what structure, like setting up the technical, like for the board authorizing Holly to set up the web page and email address, but basically that technical avenue for how we would receive applications. My recommendation of the people to do that would be Terry would be the select board rep. And then I would recommend community services having a seat, and also the grant administrator to be a team of three to be able to consider, they can work out how, how often, if we have an electronic repository or we have paper copies down at the senior center, however we get them, if we get them, they can determine when they need to meet to be able to look through it and then approve and disperse the funds. You can see in there, I put a approximation of 30 to 45 days once the application has been received by that team. That would be my recommendation. I could update the policy to include that as well. And as you're reading through it, I also individuals or groups, community groups that have been adversely affected. And let me give you an example. If New Hope Bible Church needed, right, if they needed money, they needed a micro grant for dairy products. They needed, an allowance for dairy products because they've been depleted. Or, some of the other sundries that we talked about, shampoo, things that they were missing because they were depleted because of COVID or otherwise. A community group could make an application and they could be awarded up to $1,000. Now that I say it out loud, I did not address any kind of follow-on. So like it would be a one-time only. Or I could write that into it as well. That way we didn't have the same person or the same organization come back, or you could add the flexibility to say, I don't know how fast they're gonna go. I don't know if they're gonna go like hotcakes. I don't know if we're gonna be, Adam and I are gonna be looking at each other in 2027 and say, we just gave back 27,000. I'm making people think. But this is, I think, a great start to be able to say, here's the policy of the program, and The application is in a PDF, so people actually could fill it out fill it out and then email it in. It did have a declaration on there. I know that, I didn't want to turn the process into just a free-for-all. There's a declaration there. The policy has, selection criteria instructions for them to be able to say, you've got to demonstrate what the need is. What is the impact? I said I was gonna put it up on the screen, sorry.
And Mr. Chair, you mentioned in paper form, this will be possibly left at a few locations in town.
Yep. So I've got it up on the television screen for people to see.
That's awesome.
Its purpose, it's basically, even though it's a policy letter, it's the program description, but it's addressed to the people of Temple. Purpose, the fact that we want it to be an equitable distribution. To describe the application process. I understand that we would have to work out, probably I had an idea that we could maybe create, like micro grants at templetonma.gov and Graceland or something, having access to an email account. I don't know. I figured we could figure out a way, maybe a web page or something off the web page.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be that hard, right? Yep. So application process, selection criteria.
How much should we put away aside for this?
50.
It's 50,000?
Yep.
50 of these grants.
Award notification, then 45 days receipt. Which you could consider, that's actually kind of fast.
Mhm.
Well, and you would want it to be because there is a time crunch on this. It has to be done by September 2026 or
Yep.
use the money. So
Yeah.
you would want quick decisions as much as possible.
And then the form would look like that. Nothing crazy on the form, no triplicate, no maiden name and junk like that, basically. Name, organization, description, amount requested, intended use, any kind of community engagement, demographic information, which could be, it's optional to the applicant, and that's specified on there.
Is the box that says on there under demographic information that says write in, is that supposed to be something else?
Yeah, so it's male, female, prefer not to, or they need to write in
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Sure. Okay. I see what you're saying.
ethnicities that are dropped down.
Yep.
And then they get basically a receipt, or an acknowledgement.
We need to pass this by legal to make sure that the language isn't saying anything we shouldn't, or
We could do that.
just as a,
Yeah, we already.
just as a check.
We can definitely do that. I know that we voted to authorize the money for it, so the money's in place. It was basically the how at that point. So we could check it for legal sufficiency.
Or just a suggestion that we may want to do that, just to cover our bases.
Okay. I can write in, one time only. I can write in if people agree that it should be that Terry will be our voice from the board. Grace and Jackie time. I know that I didn't talk to Jackie prior to that, but she's community services. She's going to, even if she winds up knowing, being able to suggest. if
Basically
people
falls
come-
under Jackie, I'm not sure about the others, but yeah.
Yeah.
It basically falls under Jack.
Yep. All right, I can work on that. We'll get legal sufficiency and maybe the next time we meet, we can vote to
Yes,
or to exercise it at that
Right.
point. Yep.
Thank you for your, thank you for your work on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, this really worked out well. I'll go ahead and tell you that I did use Chat GPT to,
That's okay.
to actually create this, so, technically proficient is part of, our charge, right? If you haven't used it, it doesn't write things for you, but it certainly helps, to be able to put structure into it. So happy to show people how I did that. Yep.
Appreciate that.
All right, if there's nothing else on that, then we're ready for board member comments. I'm gonna let you start because I know you want to run through the
I
Christmas.
really appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you so much. So every year, the first Sunday of December, every year, is the Templeton Tree Lighting and Parade and lighting of trees in the villages. We ended up rescheduling to the second week this year, so it was this past Sunday. We will not be doing that again. We're just gonna, from now on, we learned a lesson, and whatever the weather is on the first Sunday of December, rain or shine, snow, sleet, unless there's a state of an emergency, we will have a tree lighting and parade, because it's hard to get people together after the date. So this year we met at the gazebo, and please allow me to share one of the funniest highlights to me personally, and I'm very grateful for the privilege of serving with Candy and April Cooper this year. We're growing. When I walked up onto the gazebo, when I advertised for the parade at the last select board meeting, I had a cow sweater. So when I walked up onto the gazebo, the whole tree was decked out in cow ornaments. So I just appreciate that connection. That made my day. Told me I was in the right place. And one of my other favorite memories, I couldn't take it all in. There were a lot of people there. I couldn't take it all in, but Santa, they made on spontaneous, made the Grinch's hat grow right on the spot. And that was one of the cutest things I ever saw. Boom, 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 boom. And Grinch says, hallelujah. So thank you goes out to Recreation Commission. Candace managed to bring in speakers and microphones, candy canes. We repurposed a cornhole game, and we had snowman cornhole, and she purchased ornaments to decorate. So that was all set up under the gazebo. So thank you to Candy and Hunter Graves, Jessica and Derek Sutton, the Rec Commission, and Justice for his participation that day as well. Thank you to Bob Sozik and the Electric Company and the Legion. They were all responsible for some fantastic lights. Houghton Park is lit up. The Baldwinville Legion is lit up. So thank you to Tim for showing up for that. My only regret on that one was I didn't bring the music into the Legion. We could have done some caroling inside. We did carol at the Templeton Center, but we got a little wet. So again, so thank you to Bob Sozik and the Electric Company and the Legion and Tim. Thank you to April Cover and the police department. My bad, I didn't call today to get the name of the officer that blocked off the 101 South. Thank you to Kyle Daniels at the fire department, picking up his kids all the way in Southbridge. Chance and Paige Daniels and Jessica Richards, who rode in the fire truck, and for George Bowren, who drove the fire pickup. And Dan Dean was on another call that night, so he wasn't able to, some of the firemen weren't able to come and participate. I want to say thank you to the CERT team. They're awesome. Don Moran, Mike Damaris, Bob and Angie Levine, Pete and Bobby Newman. So just hearing all these people coming out, the police and CERT, they were needed. They were needed. TCTV was spot on. Steve Castle, Hannah Bennett, and Erin Bresnahan wore a GoPro camera, so I look forward to seeing some of their footage. Wachusett Business Incubator, Magnus Carlberg was there taking pictures and videos, so we are growing. Our Jack Frost, and I want to ask Mike, is Brendan Thompson. He was in my swimming program. He was on the slopes. He joined the army, so I don't know if this will be his last year, and his girlfriend, Mrs. Winter, was Sarah Contreras. And I'd like to say thank you to Kate and Kate Cody and Dad Cody. I didn't get Brendan's
Brian.
what is it?
Brian.
Brian, they live on your street?
Neighbors.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you. And they brought an elf with them. I didn't end up getting her name either. I want to thank the businesses, Santa for All Occasions. He usually goes to the Narragansett Historical Society, so he made it a point to come to us on Sunday. He was very helpful. He had fun. Elsa from Princess Parties and LAER Realty Partners has been in this parade going on 3 years now since Brian asked me to, said it was a select board event. Don't ask me what select board event means. I think next year I'll bring it before the board and see how we want to progress. Because
Put you in charge.
Great. So, again, Jim and Janice Brio had just got back from Iceland and Tim were down at the Legion. The Lyman family singers came and they sang around the tree. Danny and Joe Hardy rigged up Candy's speaker and provided music for the gazebo, and Eloise Hardy sold Girl Scout cookies. So it was well attended by families. They allowed plenty of time for the kids to talk to the characters and take tons of pictures. Families, the kids were the highlight of their emotions, and their responses were the highlight of the whole event. So we do things. And in the future, we would also like to invite any other faiths. If there's someone that, would like to have a menorah or a float, hopefully we'll get more businesses next year. The DPW opted out because of the rain, but they have a couple things on their plate that they're gonna do. So next year, weather permitting, they'll do. I can envision Tim's truck is like a perfect flatbed for anybody that. And so that would be, thank you for allowing me to extrapolate on that. And I just had 2 other things. We would need to vote in the 250th anniversary of the United States is in 2026. So I would like to throw that out there. If this if the select board wants to partner with rec or come up with something for 2026, it'd have to go into the budget for what, 2020,
FY27.
FY20. Not 27.
Yeah, because it would be, because July 4th, 2026 would be after. Yes, it would be FY 2027.
So we are out of time.
No,
No.
no, we got.
Good. Oh, I get it. Fine. All right, sorry. Yep. So that's that. And then, I was wondering, so we were going over the micro grants. I was just wondering if there was, any update on, do we expend all our trust fund monies? Remember when Carter had, I forget her name, clean up all the language in the trust funds left to the town?
Jackie administrations.
Jackie still does. So those are still available. Do we have an update on what they are, or should we get an update?
I'll follow up with.
Yeah.
Go on the next meeting.
Yeah. All right. And that's all I have. Thank you, sir. Thank you for everybody's patience.
Thanks, Terry. Really appreciate it.
Thanks to
Absolutely.
people that made it work. Yeah,
Your extensive list. That's awesome.
that is.
Oh,
It's board member comments.
I forgot to say about, on the public comments about, our town had the movie night too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the Grinch, and we had Katie McClurrick and her family that stepped up and really did a good play group and did that for us. That was on Saturday, at the senior
ninth.
center.
They had a hot chocolate bar
Great.
decked out.
Thank you. Next, Tim, Julie, Matt.
I do have some.
Okay.
I had a couple comments. Some of these are gonna sting, but they need to be said. Couple elephants in the room that we need to be addressed. And in no particular order. One of the things I picked up on, and it was unfortunately at the very end, the 11+ minute litany by the TA after the board members had entered their commentary. The optic is pretty poor because he works for us, we don't work for him. And speaking last was in my personal opinion, out of line. As was the 11-minute diatribe. I opined that it was omnipotent. It was not a demonstration of reality. And the commentary was filled with discourse, disdain, doublespeak, and political vitriol, which is never welcome. There was no servant leadership demonstrated, which is a hallmark of every public servant. What we didn't recognize is failures of all leaders. Any failure is always attributable to a leader. Success is always the result of the team. That said, a lot of what was presented was a bunch of inaccuracies. It was other people's work that we're taking credit for. And that's got to stop. I had requested an executive session while we were doing contract negotiations. I once again am requesting an executive session under General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, Reason 1. And that reason is spelled out in the law to discuss discipline or dismissal of a public employee during our 10 January 2024 business meeting. Now, that said, on our 29 November 23 meeting, this group failed to move forward with item 5N. That item requested by 2 members of this board was denied. That failure did not demonstrate our duty to the town and to the people, as was stated at approximately 1 hour, 52 minutes and 42 seconds into the meeting. Again, we say one thing, we do something different, and it really bothered me. In closing, I'm going to quote Abraham Lincoln from his speech, 16 June, 1858. A house divided cannot stand. That's all I have.
Okay, could you, if you prepared that, some of the specifics, if you're requesting action?
Yeah, this is out of order. I will get this to you.
Yep, thank you. Matt?
If, I don't know if you can see this in the television or not, but you'll notice the pen that I'm using tonight to sign the licenses that we have here. This pen was given to me by my father, who used it before him, as a corporate controller to sign the paychecks for his company for many, many years. My father, instilled upon me, amongst many other things, a work ethic. But one of the things that I'm most proud of is what he instilled in is the civic pride that I have, and that my need to give back and to help my community, which is one of the reasons that I ran for and I sit on this board. My father was taken from us far too soon. He's been gone for almost 8 years at this point. And this is the season of the year that I do miss him the most, as I'm sure we all miss many of our loved ones. So the only comment that I have this evening is, as we move into the holiday season, we're 6 nights into Hanukkah right now, I believe, if I remember correctly. Obviously, Christmas is coming forth. Spend time with your loved ones, hold them tight, say that you love them, and to everyone in town, I wish you a very happy holiday season, whatever you may, whatever you choose to celebrate, and look forward to continuing to doing the good work of the town in the new year. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Julie?
I'm all set. Thank you.
I just like
I
to add
could
in,
follow that.
I mean, it's holiday season, but I was just gonna,
It's holiday season.
I was gonna say, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. Those are usually the big ones around the holiday season. Very much enjoy working with our team. It's another calendar year in the books. I appreciate everyone's hard work. And we'll go down that side of the table.
I was just gonna congratulate Army for winning the football game, great game. So it was fun to watch, and I really look forward to seeing the next one next year, and wish everyone a happy holidays, enjoy the season with their family and your friends. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ed.
Air Force guy, who won the Commander-in-Chief's trophy this year?
Air Force guy. Army beat Navy. You gotta talk to our Air Force rep down there.
Is it the Air Force who won the Commander-in-Chief's Cup this year?
I believe they did, but I know they did lose the game going.
Question it.
Collegiate football is always good to watch.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, all right. So our next meeting in fact, is January 3rd for the all boards meeting. We will want the notice would be sent out for that. I would expect that pretty much the same format. Hopefully, we've got max participation. It will be at the senior center. There will be pizza. So that, looking forward to that. And then our next business meeting is January 10th. So I would entertain, yep, Happy New Year as well. Would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none on the motion to adjourn, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned.